Hello, and welcome to the What's Up London show. I'm your host, Jennifer Slay. As we start our time together today, please, let's take a moment to acknowledge the lands on which we live. The lands in London, Ontario are the traditional lands of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, the Lenape and Shannon peoples. I am grateful to be able to call Canada my home. I am also grateful and want to take a moment to acknowledge my ancestors for the sacrifices that they have made so that I can be here with you today. Welcome to March. There is a lot going on in the Forest City, so let's meet our guests today. It is about that time. It's time to start thinking about taxes. Our first guest is here to provide us with some tax season tips as well as some financial tips. Please welcome Ryan Seeley to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you having me on again this year.
No problem. So tell us about, there's exciting things happening. Lots of exciting things.
There is, yeah. Tax is not always everybody's most exciting topic, but there's definitely some interesting things. Ultimately, the story this year is just cost of living. I think we talked about it last year, and it's probably only gotten worse. There have been some programs that are out there to help people, and I think just ensuring that folks end up with the right tax preparer and filer is really going to be key this year. It's not just, hey, I made some money, let me just plug it in and see what happens. There's topics around grocery rebates and selling a house too quickly if you did that. Some other areas where you could really save money and just make sure you're in sort of the right boat.
Well, that's really good information to have, because I go to the grocery store and I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
It's crazy. But you also, on top of the knowledge that you have and that you provide to people, you're going to have that in a different medium.
Yeah, that's right. So we started filming a show for Money Talks with Ryan Seeley. So a little bit of what we're getting here is a snippet. Will be covered a lot more on that show, and also discuss topics that could be anything financial: mortgage brokers, bankers, credit union folks, anything along those lines. That'll just give people little tidbits of financial and accounting information throughout the year to just help with their personal finances, business finances. So looking forward to launching that in the spring.
And so when people are starting to prepare for their taxes, and it's almost like my mom always says, prepare way before so that you're not rushing at the end.
Yes.
Right? So what are things that people can do throughout the year to help get them ready for this season?
Absolutely. That's a great question. One of the things that I find people do is, and it's not their fault, I don't expect people to wake up and want to follow the federal budget, but you do see some interesting articles that come out, and I know you may drone over them, but sometimes there's good information in there. And one of the things that is being asked of us a lot already this year, but there's been some changes last year, are all those COVID benefits. So people are saying, hey, last year I got this $400 credit and it's great, can I do it again? Well, you can't. Unfortunately, they've changed it. There are ways to do that. We could still look at your home, do some calculations, and you can get some write-offs against that. But that would have required some good planning throughout the year, talking to your employer, making sure you qualified. There's also the Canada Worker Lockdown benefit that's no longer this year. So if you weren't working due to COVID, we're seeing some people come in and say, hey, I didn't get these checks last year, but I thought they were coming again. Unfortunately, they're not. So that could have been part of your tax planning and income assessments. Also the Ontario Staycation. That was a great program the year before. If you stayed at a hotel or a lodge in Ontario, there was a lot of tax deductions against that were actually quite valuable. We're seeing a lot of receipts come in this year, and unfortunately that's not something that qualifies anymore. So those are just some high-level areas that, again, don't expect people to be engaged in it every day of their lives, but just a little bit of that planning. We generally see these early in the year, and they dictate what would be good planning for the year ahead. So I would always encourage people, when your taxes are done, maybe a great conversation with your tax preparer or accountant is to just say, hey, what else should I be doing for this year? Are there any changes that I should be aware of? And I think that conversation would have been helpful.
Yeah, for sure. As you're talking, I'm like, oh, shoot, I missed out on
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So do you have a website where people can get a lot of the information and resources?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website is premierebcg.ca, kind of short for Premier Business Consulting Group. We can always just be reached on phone as well, 519-601-2244, Instagram, LinkedIn, you name it, we're on the path, so we can be reached anytime.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing the information, because there's a lot that people need to know, especially now. Any amount of money that people can get back or keep in their pocket,
right,
it's really needed right now.
No, thank you so much for having me on. And to your point, yeah, any way to just get this information out there. There are some benefits. We just got to find where they are and how they apply to each person.
Awesome. And congratulations again on the show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
We'll be right back.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Your happy place. Easy 1013, the perfect music mix.
Carbon monoxide is a deadly gas you can't see, smell, or taste.
Homes with fuel-burning appliances and/or attached garages must have working CO alarms installed outside all sleeping areas.
Don't let the silent killer get you. Install working CO alarms today.
Get your local sports fix with Goin' for Two, a show focused on sports and athletes from London and the surrounding area. Goin' for Two, Thursdays at 6 p.m.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom or dad, whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company or 1-888 taxi guy. Or you could use the Arrive Alive smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy. Now available for iOS and Android devices. Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
Welcome back. POV's impactful Cheque Your Privilege campaign launched in February and will be running through to March 20th. Aligned with POV's mission to champion diversity in the film and media industries, this campaign served as a vital reminder during Black History Month and International Women's Day that the stories told in the media should reflect the lives and experiences of all Canadians. Alexis is here. She's the managing director of POV, and she's here to share more. Welcome to the show. So tell us about POV. What is POV?
So POV is a nonprofit, but we operate in kind of an interesting space. So we've been in operation since 2007. We were founded by a commercial production company named Radke that sort of saw a need to diversify the film and television industry here in Canada. So we operate primarily out of Toronto, which again is where a lot of the film and television industry in Canada is sort of located. And we work really closely with industry and with young people from, various communities across the GTA on honing their skills and sort of bringing out those stories so that they can access jobs and networks within the creative industries. So film and television primarily, but as the industry grows, we're also looking at areas like advertising and also like the digital sort of AR, VR realm as well.
Nice. And there's an initiative going on right now. Is that correct? Yes,
it is. So we just launched our fundraising campaign on February 20th. Mm-hmm. It's called Cheque Your Privilege. It's sort of a play on, the words around Cheque Your Privilege. It is a fundraising campaign. So we're using check as in a check.
That's cute.
For donations. And it's just a way to sort of recognize that there are groups that have been historically excluded from the industry. So we're kind of calling people into that conversation around how can we highlight diverse stories and diverse storytellers? And how can we welcome a greater diversity of voices into the Canadian film and television industry?
Nice. And so who would the target market be? Like, who would you be calling in to have these discussions with?
So we're really calling in the industry, to be honest. I mean, I feel like the Canadian public, we are a diverse group, and I think we recognize that there are folks that have been historically marginalized and sort of excluded from this industry. And that's not to say that there have been some amazing steps made, especially since 2020. And I think a lot of those calls to action were very loud and very clear. But I think we still have a lot of work to do. So we're really calling on the industry itself to kind of look inwards and sort of see, well, how can we welcome more voices to the table, and also create tables for those voices?
For example, actors or musicians, or would they contact you as well, or is it primarily the decision makers that contact you and you provide that education? And
I mean, so we have folks contacting us from across the board. I mean, ideally, we always want to be in those conversations with decision makers, but we recognize that everyone sort of has a part to play, right? Whether it's someone who is telling their own story, and calling people in to sort of recognize that story, as well as those decision makers, and letting them know, like, hey, like, we're here knocking on your door and we've got some great talent and some great creativity that we want to share with you.
Nice. That is awesome. And what about, like, we're in London, Ontario, right? And so if a modeling agency, or there are filmmakers here, people that are doing documentaries and things like that, can they reach out for support as well?
Yeah, so I would say, I mean, again, we are based in Toronto and our training programs work out of Toronto. But realistically, we work with young people who are on the move and are always on the go. So when we have casting directors or film productions or different agencies reaching out to us, we have a great network of alumni that we can plug them into, who are located all over the province.
That's awesome. So that's great mentorship too. That's wonderful.
It is, really. I mean, that's one of the things that I think really distinguishes POV from a lot of other organizations, is that we're really trying to ensure that the folks that we work with, the young people that we work with, have access to these vast networks of folks, not only at decision-making tables, but also folks like them who maybe have come up through our programs. Again, we've been around since 2007, so we have alumni who've been doing this for a long time. So connecting that generational knowledge, I think, is really important. And I also think representation is really important, right? So
Definitely.
Seeing someone who maybe has a similar story to you or a similar background to you in a position that maybe you can aspire to or learn from, we're always looking to make those connections, regardless of where they might be in the province and in the country. And, you know, again, I think technology has shown us that we're able to make those connections a lot easier these days as well.
For sure. Well, thank you so much for being here and for sharing what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you.
Take care.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd Studio is mostly straight and white. But by pledging to check their privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mario Elia, host of Keeping London Healthy here on Rogers TV. Join us Wednesdays at 6:30, where we discuss health topics relevant to you and bringing on experts in the field to give you the best, most up-to-date information. See you then.
Thursday.
Most people that are have received treatment for drug use problems are probably going to have a lapse.
Join addictions counselor Dean Anderson for Invisible, Breaking Through the Stigma of Addiction on Rogers TV. In The Paint Box, host Jane Roy puts a spotlight on various aspects of the vibrant visual art community in the City of London. The Paint Box, Mondays at 5:30 p.m.
I still remember the games. The laughter, the footsteps through the hallway. I'll never forget the challenges.
Every day I come back from work, it's always like this. We're yelling in front of the kids.
I'll never forget the help we needed. How far we've come.
Welcome back. The spring is a time of renewal, and in many cases, we spend the first few months of the year reflecting and planning for the year ahead. Well, whether you are a student graduating high school or a mature adult looking to change career paths, or anyone in between, attending college may be your next best step. Today, we have Anne Hamilton, the Manager of Domestic Student Recruitment, and Emma Zammit, a current Fanshawe student in the Bachelor of Commerce Digital Marketing program, and they're here to talk to us about Fanshawe's upcoming open house. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
No problem. So tell us a little bit about Fanshawe College.
It's, I would say, our local college here, not only just in London, though. We have campuses in Simcoe, St. Thomas, Woodstock, as well as up in Huron-Bruce. So we serve a lot of students, and it's funny, I was just at an event this weekend, and lots of people have connections to Fanshawe, whether they're graduates or they've taught there. So there's a lot of connections here in the area.
Yeah. Because there's more than just diplomas that are offered. There's certificate programs, there's micro-credentials coming up, all of those things, right?
Yeah, apprenticeships and in Emma's case, degrees as well, that people aren't always familiar with. So we've got lots to offer, and like you said, it could be someone who's about to graduate high school. We're seeing a lot of students as well who are maybe coming up to their graduation from university, aren't quite sure what they want to do. So it's a great time to consider what we have here at Fanshawe.
Yeah, for sure. So tell us a bit about Fanshawe. You are actually doing it. You're in it. So tell us a little bit about what your experience is like.
I really like the environment there. It's calm, but it's also like there's things to do. There's always something happening. I really like my program. I'm currently in my last semester of digital marketing in my co-op that I got a job at Fanshawe College, which I've really enjoyed. And one of the main reasons I chose the program was because it offered a co-op, and a lot of other universities don't offer a co-op, because I wanted that practical experience that Fanshawe could give me.
Awesome. And you ended up choosing the program because of the open house you went to.
I did, yes.
Yeah, so tell us about the open house.
Yes, when I got there, obviously it's exciting, but it's also overwhelming. Like, all you know is high school, and then you get to this big campus. But immediately when I got there, a current student helped me and my mom kind of navigate and helped me get where I needed to go. So she brought me to the Lawrence Kinlan business part of the open house, and there I could talk to professors and current students, and they gave me flyers and ultimately helped me decide which program I wanted to take.
Nice. So tell us about the open house, because there's one coming up.
It is, yeah, Saturday, March 23rd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And like I said, at our locations in London, Simcoe, St. Thomas, Woodstock, and then up in Clinton and Tiverton. So lots of different options for people depending on what program or campus they're interested in.
All the same day?
All the same day. Yeah, residence is open if people are considering residence. We also have a service fair, so people can learn about all the great services that we have to help support students. They can take tours of all of our facilities and really get to know, like I said, current students, which are the best ambassadors we have for the college.
Oh, that is amazing. And so the date again?
Saturday, March 23rd, and folks can register in advance, openhouse.fanshawec.ca, and doing that gives them a chance to win one of 5 $1,000 prizes as well, for either towards tuition or for our campus store.
That's not bad.
Yeah, another great reason to attend open house. Yeah.
So how many programs are there at Fanshawe?
We have over 250 programs.
Wow.
So that's what's great about the day, is that you can really explore a bunch of different programs, everything from aviation to healthcare to business, our creative programs. We've got all kinds of things. So something for everyone depending on your interest.
Yeah, and again, it's for everyone. So it could be someone that just graduated high school, anyone in careers, in working, or a very mature student?
Yeah, absolutely. We never know when someone comes in, if it's the parent or grandparent or the child who's considering Fanshawe. So we'll take any and all of them.
That's right. That's right. And so what would your advice be for students that are going to come in through the open house?
I would just say to talk to everybody that you can, like talk to the professors, talk to the current students, really get a feel of everything that they have to offer, because they have the resources there at open house. They have the websites, they're going to have QR codes that you can scan, they'll have info flyers, just really getting to know what you can do at Fanshawe. I think just really take advantage of the knowledgeable people that are going to be there.
Nice. And they probably have swag too.
Yeah, we have lots of giveaways, for sure. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. Well, thank you both so much for being here. I'm sure it's going to be another success. The last one you said was like 5,000 people coming through, right?
So, yeah, it's a busy day. We get lots of people through, so we'll see a lot more even in the spring as well.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
This is the office of Todd Hammersfield. And like most of Canada's film and media industries, Todd's studio is mostly straight and white. Todd tends to avoid that topic, but it's not Todd's fault. Todd didn't personally spend the last century making it nearly impossible for BIPOC and LGBTQ+ folk to pursue careers in this industry, or at least I don't think Todd did. Did you, Todd? But he did benefit from the structure, and that's why we need Todd's help now. By pledging to Cheque Their Privilege, Todd Studio can now help fund programs to finally create a more diverse talent pool. And Todd, you can stop hiding behind this plan. What?
Actually, I'm in the vents.
Oh!
There you are. I was looking all over for you.
Stop hiding from our industry's lack of diversity and pledge to help POV fix it. Go to checkyourprivilege.ca.
They don't make vents like they used to.
Think before you say it. Don't wind up like me.
A jailbird.
Imprisoned by your tongue. Doing 1 to 3.
Is that with good behavior?
You got
Welcome back. Multiple award-winning composer and lyricist Stephen Sondheim has been widely considered the most influential, innovative, and important composer and lyricist in modern Broadway history. And our next guests have produced a review that is a customized celebration of all 15 of his Broadway musicals, with some favorites and a few surprises from lesser-known works. With an excellent cast of over 30 talented local performers, audiences will be thrilled by these performances. Karis Thomas and Tessa Pritchett White are here to share more. How are you?
Oh, we're good. Thank you for having us.
No problem. So tell me about the show.
Well, when Stephen Sondheim passed a few years ago, I wanted to put together something to honor him, and I'm not the only one who wanted to do that. There's been a few other reviews in and around town, and the Music Theatre International put this option together where you can select songs from each of his musicals and custom tailor it to your performers. You're also allowed to sing them in different ways that they wouldn't normally be in the show. Or arrange them, something that's normally a solo can now be a duet, or that sort of thing. So it was a perfect opportunity to put together a whole bunch of lovely music and lovely performers who really know what they're doing, right? And give this wonderful tribute to probably my favorite music theater composer and lyricist.
Wow. And you're one of the performers.
Yeah, for me, Sondheim is like a new thing for me. I've always grown up with musicals, but more modern things. So learning about Sondheim is so much fun. It's a lot of words, but it's really fun.
He is very wordy.
Yeah.
And you've memorized all of yours, so that's good.
Wow. How long have you been performing?
I've been performing all my life. I was a dancer throughout my whole life, and I was a gymnast. But recently, especially in the past year, I've been doing a lot more musicals. Last year, me and Karis did a performance together. We did Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, where she was the stepmother, and I was young Cinderella.
Thank you for not calling me evil stepmother, because it didn't say that. It just said stepmother.
Well, I saw that show and it was excellent.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank
Yes.
you. We had lots of fun.
Yes.
We're having lots of fun with this one too.
Okay.
A lot of fun.
And so tell us more about what people will see, expect, when it is, all of that stuff.
So it runs the week after March break, the March 21st, 22nd, which is his birthday, 23rd, and 24th, the Sunday, is a matinee. So there's only 4 performances. People can't drag their heels on this or they'll miss. On the Friday night, his birthday, there will be an extra reception and birthday cake and big celebration with that. They can expect to hear 26 of his most exquisite pieces, some of them from shows that were never produced or only produced in little concert settings. So there'll be several songs that they are very famous, like from Sweeney Todd or Little Night Music. But then there are other songs that even die-hard fans may not have heard before.
Sounds amazing. And this is a fundraiser, correct?
Yes, it is. It is meant to be a fundraiser for more lighting equipment for the Palace Theatre.
Okay. Well, that's a good cause. Yeah. The Palace Theatre does some great productions.
We like it there, right?
It's very fun.
Okay, so we know the dates. We know it's at the Palace Theatre. What else do people need to know? Where can they get their tickets? All of the beautiful stuff.
The easiest way is to go to palacetheatre.ca and go to purchase tickets. You can call the theatre during the mornings. I don't remember the exact times, from Monday to Friday. And tickets for adults are $35, for students and seniors are $33, except for the fancy party night. When it's a little extra money, it's $50 a ticket for the Friday night.
Okay, sounds amazing. And if people can't attend but they still want to support, are there ways that they can financially send some money in?
Yeah, they always can. There's always accepting donations at the Palace Theatre. So again, palacetheatre.ca is the best way to do that.
Great. Well, thank you both for being here, and good luck with it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you for watching and for listening. I encourage you to support the efforts of our guests by liking, commenting, and sharing this episode of What's Up London with your friends, your family, and your networks. Please visit our guests' websites and their social media pages and plan to attend their events. Until I see you again, please be safe, be kind, and be the change that you want to see in the world. Bye.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
My name is Ryan Dyson, and I drive the number 28 race car at Delaware Speedway and across Ontario all summer long. You can check out our YouTube vlog series right here on Rogers TV every Friday at 6 o'clock p.m.